This is the morning of the 30th of July, 2024. Article on The Guardian, written by Maura Donegan, Donegan. Title: The Republican Party's obsession with families has taken a fanatical turn. It is becoming clear that much of the stakes of the November contest will revolve around questions of gender, and specifically questions of family. Look at J.D. Vance. I think his pants are too short. He is stepping, but still the pant leg looks like it's too short. It's possible, writes Jessica Winter in the New Yorker, that if J.D. Vance had his way, citizens of the United States would be conferred not solely by birthright, but by marriage and children. This is no exaggeration. In a now viral 2021 clip, J.D. Vance said, quote, "Let's give votes to all children in this country, but let's give control over those votes to the parents of those children. When you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power. You should have more of your ability to speak your voice in our democratic republic than people who don't have kids. Let's face the consequences and the reality. If you don't have as much of an investment in the future of this country, maybe you shouldn't get nearly the same voice." End of quote. This position now represents a large swath of the Republican Party, which has taken on an angry and aggressively prescriptive approach to family life. If you're a woman in America, Republicans want you to be a mother whether you care to or not. They want you to risk your health to give them more babies. Then, when those babies get bigger, they want you to make sure that those children, parents, have a near total control over both them and you. They don't want you to be able to get a divorce if your marriage turns unhappy or even abusive. They don't want your daughter to be able to get birth control if your father doesn't approve of it. They don't want your other daughter to be able to get hormone treatment. She shouldn't get hormone treatment. She needs to thrive as her truest self. Many of those that try to thrive as a truest self regret having done so, but it's too late when they have their breasts cut off or their penis is turned inside out. It's amazing that the doctors that sign the Hippocratic Oath shall do no harm do this to innocent, misguided children. That's just my opinion. They want to inspect your kids' genitals before they let them play on high school softball team, and so they should. It isn't fair to have boys playing on a girls' softball team. They want to ban books and decide what your kids can and can't read. No, they want to prevent books of sexual content to be given to young children. They want to bar the medical treatment and allow you to plan your family and have children on your own terms, things like egg fertilization and IVF. They want to make you have your children young. They want to stigmatize those of us, women, who pursue our own careers, interests, and ambitions, instead of popping out as many children as they deem appropriate. If you say no, if you resist their prescription for marriage, motherhood, and perpetual feminine self-sacrifice, they want to let you know, in sneeringly condescending terms, that you're childless cat ladies, and you're not as good as them, that step-parents are not real parents, blended families are not real families, that women who don't have children are disgusting, worthless, and deserving of contempt. If you say no, they want to denigrate you in public, punish you financially, dilute your vote, and lessen your citizenship. As the 2024 presidential election heats up following Trump's selection of J.D. Vance and his running mate, and camel-faced Arnie Kamala Harris emerges as the new Democratic standard bearer, that's a temporary position for camel-faced Harris. Soon, Big Mike's going to pop on the scene. It is becoming clear that much of the stakes of the November contest will revolve around questions of gender, and specifically questions of family, and the view of the family that is emerging from Republicans is dark one indeed. Because of the version of family that the Republicans are putting forward is one that can only look in a very particular way, in their eyes, family is a compulsory relation of domination, an institution in which marriage and parenthood function to grant men near total private control over women and children. Women, meanwhile, face a grim fate in the Republicans' preferred vision of family. They are forced into motherhood, trapped into marriage, and punished for resistance. It's not just that Vance, the VP pick and his presumptive to the post-Trump Republican Party, has made repeated, creepy remarks disparaging childless women and suggesting that adults without children should pay higher taxes and receive fewer votes. It's that Vance's obsessive, invasive, and prudent investment in other people's sexual and reproductive lives is the logical conclusion of the Republican Party's gender politics. Vance believes that women must be either compelled into childbirth or denied full citizenship is obviously a piece with his party's ambition to impose a national abortion ban, but it also flows from the opposition to non-fault divorce rights. They're insistent that teens must not be able to access sexual, reproductive, or transition-related health care. Transition-related health care? Give me a break. Those kids are confused, and once they do it, it's too late because they've done it, which explains why they have the highest suicide rate of any group of people, because they can't go back. And these doctors should lose their licenses. You know, the ones that signed the Hippocratic Oath shall do no harm. Must not be able to access sexual, reproductive, or transition-related health care without approval of their parents. Well, it should be like that, should it not? Aren't they responsible for them until they're 18 years old? Their rejection of IVF, diversity initiatives, and anti-discrimination protections, and their opposition to a myriad of other public policy initiatives that have helped advance women's health, protect their safety, and allow them full access to work, education, and the public sphere. The Republican plan, in short, is to sabotage or revoke any cultural policy change that allows women to live as men's equals. They instead aim to reshape policy, culture, and the law to keep women in the home, dependent without control over their own bodies and at the mercy of men. They aim, that is, to advocate so-called family values in which birth is mandatory, marriage is inescapable, children are property rather than persons with rights of their own, and men are in charge. There's a word for this dark vision of the world in which the private sphere is wholly controlled by husbands and fathers. The word is patriarchy. But the creepy and unstable patriarchal version of gender in the family that is being advanced by the Trump-Vance Republican Party may also present an opportunity for camel-faced Arnold Harris and the Democratic to reclaim the mantle of family and to redefine it for a better future. Rather than a compulsory, inescapable, and equal institution based on sexual domination, a family might instead be an alliance of equality, mutual and care, one in which sovereign individuals can choose one another and come together in an effort to love one another, respect one another, and help one another to thrive. These are, after all, the kinds of families that many Americans find themselves inhabiting, ones in which romantic parties might be gay or straight, married or not, but view themselves as equal partners. Well, that's because they're mentally unbalanced, like Buttigieg, the transportation secretary. He's like Trump, a poo pusher. One in which ties of blood, marriage, love, history, and affinity all blend together in layers of connection and mutuality. One in which children are wholly voluntary, chosen and loved, and in which women are sovereigns over their own bodies and lives, whose ambitions in the public world are neither impeded nor resented in the private one. They sure make it sound good, don't they? Huh? These non-hierarchical, non-dominating, voluntary families can be encouraged through policy, through free, safe, and legal abortion access, through free child care, through paid family leave, affordable health care, high-quality care for seniors, insurance coverage for assisted reproductive technology, access to the full range of healthcare services for children and teens, and a thriving public school system. thriving public school system. Such investments would help the sort of families that most people want to build, ones that honor the dignity and worth of everyone in them. I'll attach the link. Let me know what you think. You sure as hell know what the Democrats think. And you damn well know what I think, don't you?